You see this photo, right? You see my client, you think, wow, she's already lean, she looks amazing, and why would she possibly want to work with a coach and want to lose weight? But then, what if I showed you this photo? This is her not even 12 months after working with myself. She has had a whole complete body composition, and in today's video I'm going to explain exactly how we achieve this. So make sure you stick around, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to be spilling the secrets behind my client transformations that I'm always consistently getting. Originally, my client reached out to me wanting to compete in bodybuilding. But before we even think about doing a contest prep, we want to actually look at what their calories are at currently, look at their current metabolism, and can we set them up in an even better position to ensure that when we actually do their contest prep and we diet them down, that they're going to have a successful prep. Because if I were to just put absolutely anyone straight into a contest prep, which contest preps are typically around 20 weeks, then they are going to have a very hard time getting there, especially if you haven't got enough muscle and you haven't built up your metabolism. So what we do before a contest prep itself is we like to go through something called a reverse diet, or sometimes we'll call it an off season in the bodybuilding world, or a build phase, a bulk. All these words, it's the exact same thing. If you ever hear them being thrown around, that's what I mean. Before we even want to look at doing a dieting phase, because you see this client, okay, she's lean, she looks great, but what do we need to do to ensure that she has as competitive of a physique as possible? If we were to just diet her down from the calories that she started off at, her calories would have to get so low to the point it wouldn't be healthy and I wouldn't feel comfortable prepping her. So we need to make sure that we spend at the very least 6 months building her body, her metabolism, her muscle, and that way we are going to be in the best optimal position to be able to actually do a contest prep. Because it's only so low that you can actually get your calories. So if we were to just continue dieting you, eventually you're going to get to a point where your body stops being responsive. If you have not built up your metabolism, that can happen, and then you're just going to be at risk of going catabolic, and then you're just going to feel awful, you're going to want to binge, and you're going to have a really bad and hard time adjusting post-comp. And we see this a lot of the time, not even in bodybuilding clients, but also just lifestyle clients. If you do a dieting phase from a place of not having built up your calories, it's going to be a very hard time readjusting. So before we think about your diet, we want to make sure that we spend a good amount of time reverse dieting in a build phase, increasing your calories over time. So that's a period of time where we're going to be eating in a calorie surplus, aka eating more calories than what we're burning. During that phase as well, it's really important that we taper back the cardio slowly but surely over time as we can. We don't want to stop this completely, because if we start eating a whole lot more food and we take out all of your cardio, then yeah, you're going to gain some unwanted body fat, and we don't want that. We want to achieve a body recomposition goal. What is a body recomposition? It is where you lose fat and build muscle pretty much at the exact same time. Doing those two things are very hard to do, but you absolutely can do them, especially if you're newer to the gym, or if you haven't actually taken your training seriously. If you actually start progressively overloading in the gym, you start eating correctly, having the right macronutrients, you absolutely can do that. And that's exactly what we've done with my incredible client Amy. Is we've done a body recomposition. She was already lean to start with, and her weight is very similar to the before photo, but she's leaner, she's got more muscle, and we've taken a physique that's already lean and we've improved it in every single aspect because we've got the more muscle there. And moving forward from that, we didn't achieve this transformation just from doing a whole lot of cardio. We achieved it from actually taking out cardio and actually prioritizing our weight training. If we want to achieve a look of a toned physique, then we need to ensure that we're weight training. That way, the more muscle that you have, the leaner you're going to look at any given body fat. So it's really important that you are prioritizing weight training. That's what's going to have you looking better. You're going to be stronger. There's so many health benefits to just having more muscle as well. And it also means that you can eat more, because for every extra kilo of muscle that you have, you can actually eat 28 calories more per day, which I know sounds minimal, but it does add up. And you just overall also burn more calories on a day-to-day basis. I could go on all day around why having muscle will have you looking and feeling better, but obviously we're giving this video more of practical steps. So we didn't just achieve this transformation from just dieting, we made sure we did a build phase, and then of course prioritizing our weight training. We also like to take it that step further. We don't just want to do calories either. We like to track our macronutrients. What are our macronutrients? Our macronutrients are our proteins, our carbs, and our fats. Macros actually make up calories. When our body's eating food, it's not thinking, is this healthy or is this unhealthy? It's just breaking down the protein, carbs, and the fats of the food, aka the overall calories. So there's no such thing as good or bad foods. Yes, there are foods that are more optimal for us, but ultimately having a macronutrient goal determines body composition as opposed to just losing or gaining weight. Because if we weren't prioritizing going through a build phase, and if we weren't prioritizing our macronutrients and weight training, and we were just focusing on eating less and doing a whole bunch of cardio, trust me when I tell you, she would just lose it all, or any muscle that she did have. She'd be feeling awful. She would just want to binge. She'd be in so much of a worse position than if we hadn't implemented these things. So that's why implementing these things is so incredibly important that I cannot even express enough just how important these things are. So just to clarify, going through a build phase, prioritizing weight training, and then prioritizing our macronutrients, which is our proteins, our carbs, and our fats. We know how incredibly important protein is when it comes to building muscle, recovery, and of course, exactly as I just said, that's what's going to help achieve all of those things like our body composition goal. The next thing that we need to ensure that we are doing if you want to achieve a body recomposition goal, that is to ensure that you're going through these phases. As I mentioned, going through that build phase initially, yes, but we can't be building our calories forever. We need to make sure that we have structure in every single phase that we do. So we want to go through our bulk, and our cut phases. Bulk, cut, and eventually, one day when you're very happy with where you're at physique-wise, and you are happy with your calories, you're happy with your metabolism, you're happy with your muscle, you're happy with your body fat, great. Then we can ease you into a maintenance calories and slowly introduce intuitive eating from there. But if you're like myself, this journey never stops and we always want to be improving. So you need to ensure that you have a structured phase through everything. Periodization is key. You want to make sure that you have an end date for your build phase, and then you have a cut, and don't spend anything longer than 12 weeks at a time in a fat loss phase ideally. 12 weeks absolute max, and you should still be implementing refeeds and diet breaks in your fat loss phase as well. If you need a hand, DM me the word coaching on Instagram and I can absolutely help you. And because like I said, you can't just continue to eat in a calorie surplus year round, because you are going to end up gaining body fat, absolutely. And a little bit of body fat is okay when you're in that build phase, but when we do our fat loss phase, that is where we're actually going to be able to reveal the hard-earned muscle that we had gained during that build phase. So we can lose any body fat that we had gained and we can see the muscle. So it's about going through that bulk, going through that cut, shred down, go through that bulk, gain muscle, go through that cut, because you're going to actually get there a lot quicker going through those phases instead of just trying to sit at your maintenance calories year round. So that would be the fourth thing, is just making sure that you're going through those cut and build phases over time. That is how we achieve all of my body composition goals that you see on my Instagram. It's a very science-backed method. I didn't make this up. This has been around for many, many years, but I understand it very well, and this is what I do for all my clients. And that's the thing, is that you cannot follow a program that someone else is doing. You have to get individualized macros for you. You have to get an individualized training program. Absolutely everything I do for all of my clients is so customized. And that is the beauty of coaching. And that is why you can't just go and follow someone else's plan, because it's not going to work for you. I've got girls who are on over 4,500 calories per day. I think my client Chelsea is on like she's on over 4,800 calories per day. If you want to go and follow her calories, you would gain so much weight. But we built her up over time. She came to me on like 1,600 calories, and we've just been in a permanently build phase because she's responding so good. But it's a prime example. Like, everyone's calories are different. Your fat loss phase is going to be very different to my fat loss phase. My bulk is going to be very different to your bulk, and vice versa. Everyone's numbers are so different because we are all different. We have a different lifestyle. We have different age, height, weight, metabolism, and even dieting history can make such a big difference in terms of what will be determining your calories and macros. But that's the great thing as well about our metabolism, is that it is ever changing, and it's very adaptive to the calories that we give it over time. So if you do come from a history where you have spent a lot of your life dieting, it is okay, because you can actually build that up by going through your build phases. You should not have to eat such little amount of food year in, year out, and just struggling. That is, like, so much of my work is spent increasing calories and eating more food. That is how we're actually going to continue to build your metabolism and to be able to actually see the progress in the gym, because our muscles cannot grow with having proper food, proper calories, proper fuel. Just like a car, our car needs fuel, and just like same as our body, it needs fuel. If we want to grow in the gym, we want to grow muscles, we need to have protein, we need to have calories, we need lots of macronutrients. Don't neglect your carbs, don't neglect your healthy fats. They all have an important role in the body. Once again, it's just making sure that those numbers are customized for you. And that brings me on to my next point. If you want customized programming, send me a message on Instagram. I would absolutely love to be able to have a chat with you and see what me and my team can do. I do have a current coaching waitlist, but if you want to jump on the waitlist, send me a DM. We can have a little bit of chat. I'm happy to give you any kind of advice or anything that in any way that I can help you with. I would absolutely be honored to. So please send me a DM. That being said, guys, make sure that you give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you all on the next video. Bye!